My name is Rena. I'm not a person who really believes in mystical things, but after this incident, I can't help but have to admit there are things in the world that cannot be explained with common sense. I was born and raised in Singapore, but about a year ago, I got an assignment from the office to be placed one of the small city in East Kalimantan, Indonesia. At first, I wasn't too happy, to be honest. Shadows about dense forests, large rivers, and limited life immediately fill the head. But the name is also work. I must be professional. Rio, my girlfriend, initially also touched me. He was very worried, especially after hearing her story about Kalimantan from his friends. But I convinced him this was only a year and I would be fine. Upon arrival there, my first impression was not as bad as I imagined. The city is indeed small, far from the frenetic Jakarta, but the air is fresh, the people are friendly, and the natural scenery is extraordinary. The house prepared by the office for me is also pretty good. Simple wooden buildings with large yard, typical house in the area. The location is somewhat on the edge of the city, close to the fresh oil palm plantation. The house has a wide front porch where I usually sit in the afternoon while enjoying coffee and reading books. Behind the house, there is a small river whose water is clear. Sometimes I see small children playing and swimming there. The atmosphere is very different from the life of hectic in Jakarta. Early living there, everything felt normal. I work as usual, hang out with office friends, and occasionally travel to enjoy the natural beauty of Kalimantan. I even began to write this calmer and peaceful life. Rio often comes to visit me every month. We usually spend time exploring tourist attractions around the city, tasting local culinary, and just relaxing at home. My office friend, his name Andre, he has lived in Kalimantan for a long time. He is a friendly person and likes to help. He gave me a lot of information about life there, ranging from delicious eating place, interesting tourist attraction, to the custom of the local community. Andre also often reminds me to be careful, especially at night. There are still many mystical stories here, Wayne, Andre said one afternoon while we were drinking coffee in the office canteen. Don't leave the house alone at night, especially if there is no important need. I just smile and respond, you just believe it's such story. I'm not afraid. Andre shook his head. It's not a matter of fear or not afraid, Rin. It's better to prevent that cure. Here, things like that are still very trusted. I'm remaining in establishment. I don't want to think too much about things that are not necessarily true. I prefer to enjoy my life in Kalimantan without having to overshadow where there is not clear. A few months passed. Everything went smoothly. I'm more comfortable living there. I began to learn local language, try local dishes, and interact closer to the local community. I feel like I was a part of community. However, one night everything changed. That night I was reading a book on the front porch of the house. Rio is not there. He is busy with his job in Jakarta. The atmosphere of the night is very quiet. Only the sound of crickets and occasionally the sound of owl that broke the silence. The terrace lights are dim, creating a comfortable and calm atmosphere. Suddenly, I heard a strange voice from behind the house. The sound is like the sound of something flying, but not the sound of bird or insect. His voice was heavier and buzzing. I frowned, trying to find the source of the sound. At first, I ignored it, thinking it was only the sound of ordinary night animal. But the sound is getting clearer and closer. I began to feel comfortable. The hair on my neck began to blend. I put the book I was reading and tried to peek toward the back of the house. But because it's dark, I cannot see anything. I can only hear the voice getting closer. Hesitantly, I got up from the chair and walked to the back of the house. I tried to dare, even though my heart was beating fast. I took a flashlight hanging on the wall and turned it on. When I reached the back of the house, I directed the flashlight at the sound source, and that when I saw it, something very terrible. Something's never imagined before. Something that made me frozen, cold mouth, cold scream in the middle of the darkness of the night. Above the small river behind my house, floating a woman's head with long hair loose. His head was separated from his body, and his internal organs were clearly visible. His heart throbbed, his intestines dangled. His head flew around of the river, making a frightening buzzing sound. I was standing in my place to stand up. I can't say anything. I can only stare in horror in front of me. I don't believe what I see. This must be a dream, I thought. This must be just hallucination. But this is not a dream. This is a real. Creator are real. And he was staring at me. His bright red eyes looked at me sharply. His gaze was full of heart, hatred, and anger. I could feel the cold that pierced the bone as he looked at me. I tried to shout, but my voice choked. In the truth, I tried to run, but my feet felt weak and could not be moved. I can only standing in my place, becoming a helpless prey. The creature approached me. He flew the lower, the closer. I can feel the cold and rotten gusts of breath. I close my eyes, resigned to what will happen. I can only pray silently, hoping that there a miracle coming to save me. Suddenly, I heard a scream from the front of the house. The voice was very loud, make me open my eyes. I saw Andrew running toward me, carrying the torch in his hand. He shouted while swinging his torch towards the crater. The creator was surprised by Andrew's arrival. He stopped flying and looked at Andrew with an angry look. Then, quickly, he flew away, disappearing in the darkness of the night. I sat leaning on the ground, still in shock, with head just hit. Andrew approached me and helped me stand up. "Rina, are you okay?" Andrew asked, a worried tone. I shook my head, still not able to say anything. "I heard you scream. What's wrong?" Andrew asked again. I pointed the river behind the house. I see Kuyang." Andrew was silent for the moment. Then he nodded slowly. "I know. I expected it." You know about Kuyang?" I asked in a surprised tone. Andrew nodded. "Kuyang is a mystical creature that is highly feared in Kalimantan. She is the head of a woman who flying with her internal organ. She is looking for the blood of a baby or woman who has just given birth." I shuddered at Andres explaining. "I don't believe what I just heard, but why did he come to my house?" I asked in a confused tone. Andres sighed. "I don't know where for sure, but maybe he feels something in this house. Maybe this energy." That is interesting.